Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It really makes me angry how these Yogi Bhajan tantric yoga beach bums are twisting Sikhi and then deceiving Sikhs into thinking that Yogi Bhajan's debauched sexual practices are part of the Sikh religion. It's just appalling. It's complete sacrilege. And I just hate to see how some traditional Sikhs are being deceived and donating money to SikhNet, which works hand in glove with these Yogi Bhajan tantric organizations and the disbursement and practice of these Yogi Bhajan tantric yogas, which are completely against Sikhi. Now in this video, I will show how SikhNet, which is the world's largest supposed Sikh website, works hand in glove with all of these Yogi Bhajan organizations, and how their donations go to this larger Yogi Bhajan tantric network, if you will. Now, just recently, I saw this article in a leading magazine about how this Yogi Bhajan poster yogi, call her Guru Jagat Kaur, and she's promoting all of these kundalini yoga exercises, which she says will give better sex. This is an example of how the Yogi Bhajan people mislead and deceive people into thinking that these are part of the Sikh religion. It's completely not. And of course, we know as traditional Sikhs that the Sikh religion is a beautiful religion that where we only worship one God, and we have Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji as our Guru. And we are householders, people are family people, but these tantric kundalini yogis are twisting that traditional view of Sikhi and using it for their own ends in order to make money and sex and get power too. Here you can see there's actual pictures from Yogi Bhajan's tantric yoga, which is taught all over the world and supported by this SikhNet. You can see here this SikhNet has actually supported this Gurmukh Kaur, who is a poster yogi and longtime Yogi Bhajan follower. She does all of these occult practices and fire pujas and worshipping Shiva lingams. And again, these are actual pictures. They haven't been doctored at all from Yogi Bhajan's white tantric yoga. And there's Yogi Bhajan there on the left in this photo with some of his secretaries on a bed, really indicative of Yogi Bhajan's philosophy. Now, back in 2010, there was a really good article that came out in the Eugene Registered Guard, which I think really summarizes what Yogi Bhajan was about. In that article, former followers say Yogi Bhajan abused his position for power, money, and sex. Now, my name is Gursant Singh, and I was in the Yogi Bhajan group for 30 years or so, so I'm well familiar with all of these allegations. And I can tell you from personal experience, the Yogi Bhajan did abuse his students. I was on guard duty for many years with Yogi Bhajan, guarding him personally and his entourages. So I witnessed a lot of things. We'll talk about that a little later in this video. Now, this is a flow chart that was just sent to me. It's an inside information about the Yogi Bhajan organization. And it's basically controlled by a 10-member group of Yogi Bhajan disciples. And you can see here all of the Yogi Bhajan organizations: SikhNet, Kundalini Research Institute, 3HO Foundation, etc. They're all part of this legacy circle, they call it. You can see all their symbols there. So they all work hand in glove together. And my understanding is that they pool all of their donations they get. So if you give a donation to SikhNet, that money is going to go into a big pool. And it could very well be going to all of these other tantric yoga activities. Don't let SikhNet fool you when they tell you that it's just going for Sikh activities. This is the reality here, that they're all tied together and they work hand in glove together. This is absolute proof showing the Yogi Bhajan empire and how it's controlled. The Siri Singh Sahib Corporation is the one that controls the entire Yogi Bhajan empire. So when SikhNet's out there begging for donations, just realize that it's not just going to SikhNet. It's going to this entire Yogi Bhajan empire, which consists of this Kundalini Research Institute, the Sikh Dharma International, the Yogi Foundation, all of these different yoga organizations, 3HO, and the Tantric Yoga. Now here is a synergy meeting, they call it. And you can see here Gurmustik Singh, who's the founder and one of the directors over at SikhNet, in the blue star. Now, Guruka Singh, right there, I'll zoom in on him there. He has the white beard, is the CEO of SikhNet. And he wrote an article a few years back, in which he describes how he keeps Yogi Bhajan's fingernails in his sacred nitnam. This is the Gutka Sahib that we all use for reading our 5 banis every day. It's just beyond the pale. It's just appalling how a director at SikhNet could be keeping Yogi Bhajan's fingernails in his Gutka Sahib. It shows, though, the cult of personality that is around Yogi Bhajan and how they treat him as a guru. You can see Yogi Bhajan's picture up there on the wall behind them in this synergy meeting as well. Now, I visited SikhNet there about a year ago, and it's all fenced in, this whole compound there where all the Yogi Bhajan organizations are located. There's a big fence and gates and everything around there. And I'll zoom in here on SikhNet's sign there, and you can see. And then there's also the Sikh Dharma International, 3HO. They're all in the same campus. So they all work together, all these Yogi Bhajan organizations and SikhNet. And all their offices in the same location as well. So if you ever go to New Mexico, you can witness this for yourself. I couldn't even get in to visit the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji and receive Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji's darshan. I rang the doorbell there at the gate, but nobody answered. I couldn't get in. So you can see it's all locked up. And this is the entire campus here. Call security is over here, right there in that building. And then SikhNet is over here, the Gurdwara, and then the 3HO, Kundalini Research Institute. They're all in the same campus. They have their yoga courses and everything on that green lawn there, right there next to the Gurdwara. And they have all those courses where they bring people from all over the world to have their teacher training there too. You can see here, this is at that campus. I took a picture of this where they have the U.S. flag above the Nishan Sahib. So really their priorities are to making money. They're to a temporal government like the United States. These are their loyalties to money and to all of these worldly things, in other words. Now, we talked about the money grants. This is a chart showing, from one of their newsletters, showing the $2 million in grants that was given, and it breaks down all of these different groups that it goes to within the Yogi Bhajan organization. The Sikh Dharma International, 3HO, Kundalini Research Institute, the KRI is the Kundalini Research Institute, SikhNet. These are hundreds of thousands of dollars that go to each of these organizations. And this is money that's taken from the profit organizations like Occult Security and Yogi Tea and given to all these different organizations. So you can see here that SikhNet and these other, they don't need any of your donations. They're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this was a report from 2014. So I'm sure that those numbers have gone up a lot. You can see down there too, this, it's called the legacy salaries. Down there at the bottom, legacy salaries. These are salaries that are given to all these Yogi Bhajan people. And that's a lot of money. They're getting a lot of dough, and they don't need your donations. It's just appalling how they beg for donations constantly, and they're getting all this money. They live in luxurious lifestyles over there in Espanola. I don't have any pictures here right now, but they're big houses, big cars they drive, and they're just ripping people off, in my mind. Anyway, so this is the email that was sent to me with this newsletter, and I made a little video of it so you can see that the newsletter is authentic. This was from 2014, and it shows the breakdown of all these grants that are given to the different Yogi Bhajan organizations. Now, this has been kept secret now since 2014. Obviously, they don't want anybody to know how this money is given out and how much money they're getting in from these different organizations, these different profit organizations. There it is right there. So I'm sure the amounts are much more by now. They're making, Occult Security is making lots of money off of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement by guarding these detention centers and these deportation flights that ICE has. It's really appalling how they make money off of the pain and suffering of others. These poor immigrants are really coming to the United States to seek asylum. Anyway, so the Yogi Bhajan group is involved in all of these different occult practices I mentioned. It's completely against Sikhi. You can see Sanatam Kaur, who's a famous singer in the Yogi Bhajan group, there on the right. They're doing this Hindu arti there at the Pramatna Kirtan Ashram. This was a Hindu last rite ceremony that was given to Yogi Bhajan by 3HO people, and this was kept completely secret. It was only by chance that a Sikh was there and took some photographs of this Hindu last rite ceremony, and it became available on the internet. So I put together another video that the Yogi Bhajan people published. That picture on the left was part of a video that the Yogi Bhajan people published. And then we figured it out that that is the Hindu last rite ceremony. And Pramatna Kirtan Ashram verified this, that Yogi Bhajan's ashes were put in the Ganges River by the 3HO people and his family. You can see there Yogi Bhajan's family right there with this Hindu Swami, who is a longtime friend and pundit to Yogi Bhajan and his family. And you can also see some 3HO people there on the right as well. So Yogi Bhajan people are involved in all these occult practices. And again, the 3HO people treat Yogi Bhajan as guru. Even in death, they worship him and do this guru yoga, which is completely against Sikhi. Now, Yogi Bhajan, as I mentioned before, lived a lavish lifestyle. I was on security duty in the 1980s, and we would go to La Scala, we would go to jewelry stores in Beverly Hills and buy expensive jewelry. So this was an everyday occurrence, and there were several lawsuits that were filed against Yogi Bhajan. His lead secretaries, this Prempka and Kate Lead, they filed lawsuits against Yogi Bhajan, and the attorneys I talked to, their attorneys, and they told me that he was asked for his deposition. Yogi Bhajan was asked for his deposition, but Yogi Bhajan refused to come. He would get letters from his Khalsa doctor saying that he had heart trouble. But I know that he could have come because of these depositions, because Yogi Bhajan was perfectly fine to be able to go shopping in Beverly Hills and then also to go eat at La Scala and all these fancy restaurants. There you can see him on the beach in Acapulco, Mexico. No Dastar, no Kirpan. These are worships of Yogi Bhajan they're doing over there in Espanola right now to this day. And I mentioned about Akal Security, how they really are profiteering off of the pain and suffering of these immigrants who are coming up from Central America, who are only seeking asylum, trying to escape these gangs. Akal Security makes millions off of these deportation flights that ICE has, and where they take them, these immigrants, down to Guatemala and to Mexico City, and they just drop them there. And then they're just at the mercy of these gangs there. These are, you can see the Akal logo there in this photograph. And like I said, these are ICE air flights, Immigration and Custom Enforcement flights, where these Akal security guards are on there. I think it's really shameful how a supposed spiritual group is making millions off of the pain and suffering of these poor immigrants who are trying to escape this terrorism and these gangs where they live down there in Central America. And Yogi Bhajan all the time would live this lavish lifestyle. You can see him there in these mink coats. Again, these are more pictures of him at the Beverly Hills jewelry stores. And this worship of Yogi Bhajan goes on and on. You can see the Yogi Bhajan people there doing that worship of Yogi Bhajan. They worship this idol of Baba Sri Chand there in Espanola. It's right there by the SikhNet headquarters. Again, don't let SikhNet fool you with their propaganda and gimmicks. They are beholden to these Yogi Bhajan tantric yoga groups. They're all tied together, and they're very defensive too about their relationship with them, because I know Sikhs will think that they're really tantric yogis and not Sikhs. These are the Yogi Bhajan disciples performing this Chachakam meditation, they call it. I don't know what they're doing there. This is at their summer solstice gathering there, where they have Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in a little room there on the side. And then right in front of that, they're doing all this wild dancing, taking off their dastars and everything. This is more of the tantric yoga there at this tantric yoga, and then Gurmukhar. Now, as I mentioned, my name is Gursan Singh, and I was in the Yogi Bhajan group for some 30 years. So I wrote a book called Confessions of an American Sikh, and I'd be happy to send you a copy, free PDF copy of that book if you'd like. And you can ask me any questions, put comments in the video, or write to this SikhNet Should Apologize Facebook page that I have, and I will try to answer any of your questions. So I appreciate your time watching this video. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.